Today we are talking about niche marketing with an extremely special and unique agent, Bobbi Desai. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So Bobbi, I am so excited for people to hear your story. I love your model that you have, and I love it for two reasons. Number one, for the intense service that you provide to your clients, but then also from a business perspective, how you are just all in on your niche. So how did you become Special Agent Bobbi?
Thank you so much, Eddie. So I started in the business not really knowing much about real estate. And so I was taking leads from my company, and that was pretty much how I was conducting business. After about a year in the business, I knew that I wanted to have my own business. I didn't want to chase leads that were coming from my company. I wanted my clients to come to me. And so I sat down and I thought about, who I was, what I wanted to be known for, and also who I wanted to work with. And in that process, I realized that I had worked with a lot of families with special needs. And I didn't seek them and they didn't seek me. They were leads that came in and I just connected with them. And I loved the feeling of being able to help them and advocate for them. And that's when I realized that there was really something here, that there was an opportunity to really serve the community in that way. And that's where Special Agent Bobbi was born.
You know, as a special needs mom yourself, can you take us through that journey and how that prepares you for being able to advocate on behalf of all your clients, but especially your fellow special needs families?
Sure. So when I was pregnant with Ryan, I was actually working a corporate job. I was working at the NASDAQ stock market. And when I was 5.5 months pregnant, they diagnosed him with congenital heart defects. So I knew he would need at least 3 open heart surgeries. We didn't know what other conditions would be at play. So I quit my job so I could stay home with him. And, he had his first surgery when he was 2 days old, his second when he was 5.5 months. And he ended up having his third when he was about 3. When he was about 2.5, he was diagnosed with an extremely rare bone disease. And there is no treatment or cure for what he has. He's one of 12 reported cases worldwide. And that really changed my life. I think it was like getting hit by a bus. I mean, what do you do with that information? And so it was a matter of trying to find doctors and specialists that could help him. And then once he started school and he was termed, special needs, it was like getting hit by a bus again. Having to maneuver and navigate that journey was just so hard, and you feel so isolated. But in the process, I think you learn a lot and you develop a lot of skills that are extremely valuable in life and in business. So, the first thing was I was never very, I was always kind of passive aggressive. I never really stood up for myself. And having Ryan, all of a sudden, it like a switch flipped, and I was speaking up for him, and I learned how to advocate for myself and for those close to me. You learn how to multitask very quickly because you're dealing with doctors and specialists and insurance companies and schools and all of the different things. You learn how to research because you have to be an expert on everything. So there are a number of skills in that really are very valuable in this industry.
So it's interesting that some of your first clients, it sounds like, were fellow special needs families, but how did they find you? Did you just sort of find each other?
So the first ones I ever had before I branded, they were leads that came in. And I think it was, we were taught that when a lead comes in, you have to respond within 5 minutes and you have a conversation. And I think those original conversations, hearing, like the first time I heard, oh, I have a child with autism, or, I was able to right away connect with them. And it's so funny because in that time, in the first year of my business, there was an experienced agent who said to me, you don't have a family. When it comes to your business, you are an agent and that's it. Don't talk about your family. Don't talk about personal life. And it was so separate from what I ended up doing, because sharing that information about what I'd been through And, the challenges I've had with Ryan really connected me to my clients, and they felt comfortable telling me things that they wouldn't tell somebody else.
Yeah, I understand that. And look, I don't second guess anybody's business model in real estate, but from my perspective, the best business models in real estate blend personal life with real life. And I personally would have a tough time separating my family, never discussing family, with people that I work with. Here at Redwood, we work with our agents to actualize their dreams, and so however that comes to be. But for me, it's a blending of the two as well. So, were you a special needs mom before you were a real estate agent, or had you been licensed when Ryan was born?
No, actually, I was not an agent. I knew very little about real estate. I actually, um, I was on Facebook thinking about what I was going to do with my life. And I saw an acquaintance of mine who was a real estate agent who said that she was going out on maternity leave and she needed somebody to cover for her. And I thought, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. I'd love to learn more. So I sat down with her, and then I sat down with her broker, and her broker said, it sounds like this would be great for you. How you need your license. And I said, okay, well, how long does that take? And he said, oh, it could take up to a year. I know somebody who did it in a month. So I did it in 3 weeks, passed all my exams, and said, ready to go. And, but I actually thought going into real estate that I would get a base salary. I had no idea it was 100% commission based. So I knew very little about real estate. And, I was really going to do this, to get leads, to work the leads, to work. I wasn't trying to build a business. I wasn't trying to, build a career. I just wanted to work and bring in some income.
So you were phenomenal on video, and I want to get to that in a second. But did your prior business life before you started your family, did that prepare you for video, or are you just a natural storyteller?
I My previous business was marketing and advertising. I was a background person. I supported the sales team. They were the face. I was the background. So it didn't really prepare me for video. But growing up, I loved being on stage. I was a dancer. I was an actress. I used to do speech and debate. I won a number of speech contests and competitions. So I think that's where, my interest and my love of video came from.
And so at what point did you pull in video to make that a core part of your marketing?
So I think the video started with listing videos. Every one of my listings gets, of course, high fusion photos, 3D tour, and a video. And when my videographers started making personalized videos a part of their package, I loved it. I thought this is an opportunity for me to be, on camera, especially in my farm, because I knew people would recognize me. So I started with that, and then started realizing how beneficial it was for people to be able to connect with me without meeting me face to face. And I got to be recognized throughout my neighborhood. And so I really liked that. So it went from doing listing videos to doing weekly videos, talking about being a mom of a child with special needs and what I've learned, challenging others to take some action so that they could learn, some of those things. And it just went from there. I liked the connection I could have with people that way.
Yeah. So to steal a line, Special Agent Bobbi can't be Secret Agent Bobbi. That's why Special Agent Bobbi does video. And so
Right.
Can you walk me through how your use of video, and particularly your use of video, connecting with your tribe, your niche market of fellow special needs families, how that transcends into all of your business, including your sphere of influence, the neighborhood that you live in? Like, how does that all come together?
I think having a very specific brand kind of gave me the opportunity to expand what I had to share. The video helps because it's familiarity. In our community of families with special needs, disabilities, medical complexities, we're very protective. We don't generally want to open up or talk to people that we don't know or that we think won't understand. And putting myself on camera and talking about a lot of these challenges, and talking about my son and talking about our story, it makes me relatable. And it's somebody that they can picture themselves having a conversation with, talking to, sharing their concerns and their challenges. And so being on video creates a familiarity, and I expand it out through, those videos go out to my sphere. I do a lot of events throughout the year. Popeyes, every Popeye I do is branded Special Agent Bobbi, and it's always family centric because everything I do is about the family. When it comes to my farm, my brand is on everything. And I actually send out a letter every January with a calendar magnet. And I talk about my family and I say, you've probably seen my son, Ryan. He's in the red motorized wheelchair zooming around our neighborhood. They know me from schools. They know me as Ryan's mom. And so this really gets it out a little bit further that, there's Ryan's mom, there's Special Agent Bobbi. And so everything I do centers on that brand because it helps to reiterate my value in the community.
It's interesting because I remember we were having a conversation about your video strategy one time, and I went on to YouTube and I pulled up Bobbi Desai, and I came across the amazing talk that you did on Tales and Ales, and you were just so natural on stage there. Is that something that is in your future, continuing and expanding on the public speaking?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, absolutely. I love telling our story, and I say our because for the longest time I thought it was Ryan's story. And when I was after I auditioned for Tales and Ales and they selected me to speak up there and I was trying to explain what I wanted to talk about, they said, we don't want Ryan's story. We want your story. You need to be the center, the main character in your life. We want to hear your story. And so then I was able to figure out what exactly my story was. With everything that we've been through, and I say we as a family, that experience and everything we've learned has to have value, and it has to help other people. So if I can share that story, I absolutely want to through as many avenues as possible. I would love to speak on The Moth or do a TED Talk and talk about what we've learned and how we can change our perspective as to how we see the disability, the special needs, the medically complex communities.
Well, I'm here to tell you, you are completely ready. All you have to do is submit that tape from Tales and Ales, and you're good to go. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Thanks for sharing your insight on how you have grown your business through niche marketing to a very special niche. And I relish every time we get to hang out together, and today was cool because we did it on camera.
I love it. Thank you so much, Eddie. I appreciate it.